Hey guys, what is going on? I hope you're all having a great day today because today we're going to talk about something that is not so great, and that is the performance on Code Vein 2. Now, I'm someone who I played the first Code Vein game and I really enjoyed it. It's an anime style Dark Souls game and it's not nearly as hard as a Souls game, so it feels more like an action game with Souls-like elements. So when I saw that Code Vein 2 just launched, I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll check this out. So I go to Steam, I check the recommended specs to see if my computer can run it very well, and I see fucking this for the recommended specs. Just a casual i7-12700KF, and just a casual 3080. I then look up the performance of this game to see if these recommendations are correct, and am greeted with an article complaining about the performance of this game. I then immediately Google what engine this game is using, and I am not shocked when I see Unreal Engine 5 pop up. But we're going to go over a few parts of the article here today, and then I'm going to go over some Steam reviews and a Reddit thread talking about the awful performance of this game, because I think a lot of us are sick and tired of seeing games come out, and the devs expecting us to have supercomputers to run those games. The article starts off saying, Code Vein 2's advanced access hit by mixed Steam reviews. Players criticize poor performance. One reviewer noted that the game simply does not run well, while others have been blaming Unreal Engine 5 for poor optimization. Now, people get really upset when they see people blame the engine Unreal Engine 5 for poor performance, because I guess it's not entirely the engine's fault. It is a hard to optimize engine, but some devs can optimize for it. For example, the Sonic Racing Crossworlds devs, they optimized that game pretty well on Unreal Engine 5. But I think people have the right to be upset with the engine when the engine is hard to optimize, and as a result, games come out running like shit on it. I think it's entirely fair for people to want devs to use other engines. This is especially the case when you realize that the graphics jump from Unreal Engine 4 to 5 is really not all that noticeable. And whenever a game does jump from Unreal Engine 4 to 5, or a sequel jumps from Unreal Engine 4 to 5, the system requirements skyrocket. You have to front all of this extra cost for more powerful components for graphics that aren't really all that noticeable of an upgrade in the first place. While many are still waiting for the January 30th release date of Code Vein 2, those who picked up its deluxe or ultimate editions have now gained advanced access to the action RPG. As it turns out, these players haven't exactly been happy with the release, leading to the average of its Steam reviews to sit at mixed at the time of publishing. While there are quite a few positive reviews, with some praising the in-depth character creator, improvements made to the gameplay over the original Code Vein, and nicer visuals, others have slammed it for not being optimized well enough. Personally, I wish people criticized the performance of modern games a lot more, because you have to remember these devs nowadays are charging more money for games than they used to, so I think it's only fair that we expect a better working product for our extra money. Code Vein 1 launched for $60. Code Vein 2 launched for $70, but we're seeing an increase in price and decreased performance. For instance, one reviewer with 2 hours at the time of writing their review noted that the game simply does not run well. While the player has a decent PC, they have said that Code Vein 2 has tons of pop-in, choppy cutscene transitions, low frame rate in several areas and situations, among other problems. While Bandai Namco is yet to make any statements about this, some reviewers have started blaming the game's use of Unreal Engine 5 for its poor optimization. UE5 strikes again, wrote one player. No reason I should have to limit my frame rate to 30 FPS to have a playable experience. I absolutely agree with this. If I'm playing a brand new game and they can't even bother to optimize it correctly and they're charging more money than their previous game, I'm refunding. Now, for the rest of the article, they just go on to talk about things like the character creator and the gameplay and stuff like that, which isn't the focus of today's video, so we're gonna skip over that and we're we're gonna go straight to the discussions around the performance of this game. We're gonna start off with a couple Steam reviews here, and then we're gonna go over to Reddit and actually look at a thread where people are talking about the performance of Code Vein 2. Anyway, the first Steam review I found says, one of the most unoptimized games I have ever played, which is a real shame because it otherwise seems pretty cool. This is how I personally felt about Borderlands 4. I like the Borderlands games. Borderlands 2 is one of my all-time favorite games, but I just cannot buy a game if it's gonna run like absolute shit, even on a more mid-range build like the 4070 build that I have. The next review here says, can we just go back 10 years, when everything didn't look 4K HD insane amazing, but could be played on pretty much anything. Can't even play this. Their recommended everything is way too high, and I'm too broke to upgrade anything. Graphics don't need to attempt to simulate the real world. I absolutely agree with this. If you look at games like Batman Arkham Asylum that came out about 10 years ago, those games look amazing to this day, and nowadays they run really easily. So I don't understand why devs don't just stick with graphics of around the 2015-2016 times so that games can run really well. This last review that we're going to go over says, my PC, while not the absolute greatest, can consistently and smoothly run many games that are much more graphically intensive than Code Vein 2. Needless to say, this game is yet another victim of UE5. Very poorly optimized, even on the lowest settings. For graphical fidelity that isn't anything to write home about. The game's art direction is good, and I actually like it for different reasons than the art direction of the first Code Vein, but as it stands, the current optimization issues, stuttering, and less than stellar frame rate for a mere 60GB games are grounds for me not to recommend playing this right now. I think the game has potential to be a fun experience, but for most people, the game won't run well enough for that to happen. I suggest waiting until patches come out to try the game, something I will unfortunately have to do despite pre-ordering. Those are all the Steam reviews that I wanted to go over, because if I keep reading them out, you're gonna see just the same shit over and over and over again. The point is, a lot of people are leaving negative reviews on Steam saying the performance of this game is not very good, and the same sentiment is shared over on Reddit on a thread talking about the performance of the game. So the thread starts off by someone by the name of Leo Dude here, who says, or Leo Dude, I think is how I say that, I don't know. How is the performance on either PC or PS5 for early access players? I want to get the game, but I don't know if my PC is decent enough for the game to get stable 60 plus FPS. I barely got it in the hub, so I just want to know, does it get worse leaving the hub before I buy? Pim Tasselgo. Dude, these are the weirdest fucking names I've ever seen. Anyway, he says, base PS5, not good. Seems like 30 FPS with the action-oriented setting. Very disappointed, wasn't expecting this game to have bad performance. Elzrio says, awful, just refunded myself. Series X. Majestic_sync4255 says, the performance is pretty bad. Rawaz77 says, the performance is horrid. I'm going to get a refund. Very disappointing on PlayStation 5. The majority of the comments are echoing what these guys are saying. Now, there are a few people saying it runs fine, but most of these people are getting downvoted, or they don't have any likes at all, so they're just stuck at 0. So people obviously do not agree with most of these people saying the game runs fine. Yeah, the general sentiment is this game runs like ass, and it is yet another victim of Unreal Engine 5, unfortunately. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's video. Very disappointing, I must say. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, you can leave a dislike and a mean comment. Alright guys, I'm out.